that kind of a feature. Good. Okay, that's great. Okay, so thanks, Annie. We've talked about how Wimba can support you in providing convenience and control for today's students' demands and in managing complex institutions. Now I want to talk about how Wimba helps institutions build community. So I'll let Annie play the role of the University of El Paso nursing student.
I really feel this class came alive with your insights. Letting us post personal reflections and answer them helped us bond as a class. Before this point, I was just frustrated and felt alone. Wimba Classroom gave us a forum. We became self-directed learners and teachers, but we also knew our peers would help us if something didn't go as we thought it should. It was enlightening to see how close we all became and worked as a team to support one another. Thank you for this experience.
So really, is there a better way to illustrate engagement than that? And I think most of you know engagement equals retention. And when we think about people collaborating in Wimba, they're engaged. And that's an issue to consider in terms of the big picture issues for the college and university is how do we retain our students? We retain them through engagement, and Wimba is a great way to consider that. Another nice example is Great Basin College, who serves students spread across more than 60,000 square miles in central Nevada, rural central Nevada. The students are swing shift Nevada mine workers primarily, so they're focused on participating in classes on their own time, as well as trying to juggle their families and their work responsibilities and their community responsibilities. They used to have an option where they went to a center to do video teleconferencing, but they found that the workers, the students actually had to travel somewhere, so it didn't make it effective in terms of access, and it was very difficult to then also interact in that kind of an environment. So they started up with Wimba LiveNet, which is their branded version of Live Classroom, and it showed that it produced incredibly measurable results for them, and those results were measured as 5 to 7% increase in retention rates over the use of the LMS alone. And this is Lisa Frazier, who's actually been presenting at our booth, if you've been down there. So please stop by and you can see Lisa talk about this particular story. Quote her, she says, Wimba Classroom is designed specifically for classroom use and is fundamentally and pedagogically superior in the way it supports an interaction with and among students. And best of all, the 5 to 7% higher retention is reflected in the student satisfaction and student surveys. So what's meaningful to her beyond the actual numbers is that the students who can't usually sign up and come to courses are now signing up and completing the courses, and they're also loving their experience. So again, it's the issue of they're engaged, they're retained, and she's happy with the results. So another great example, this is University of Georgia, Associate Professor Mike Ori, who teaches learning theory and introduction to instructional technology. He currently considers the use of Wimba Classroom and uses it in his consortial doctoral seminar. Quoting Ori, we have the face-to-face component for students in the program and have used IP video in the past. For the distance classroom component, we're now using Wimba Classroom exclusively. He found that when he was teaching asynchronously with WebCT alone, he had about a 20% drop-off in his students who were dropping out and failing. I can't believe I'm sitting here quoting failure rates for WebCT. That is not a right thing. But the thing that's interesting about it is that he was thinking to himself, okay, these are students who were successful K-12, they were successful as undergraduates, they should be successful in these programs, but they were not. What he found that when he added in the synchronous components with Wimba, he said that it's the same experience that the students are accustomed to. So now he gets the same results with the students in the Wimba classroom that he gets with the students in his face-to-face classroom, and he's no longer suffering those drop-off rates in terms of student failures. So some interesting examples for you to consider, and we've talked about building community, the impact on engagement, the impact on retention. Now I'd like to take a minute to recognize our own community. And as I said at the beginning of this presentation, the Wimba solution, we were honored 2009 as the Cody Award for the Best Education Solution. In addition, we've had a number of great recognitions for our customers that we are particularly proud of. We've had the USDLA Excellence in Distance Learning Award with one customer, another, the 2008 National Arts Educator of the Year Award, and another, the European Award for Languages. If it's one thing that Barbara and I talk about all the time is that if you put a solution out for a customer, they always come up with these ingenious applications and things that we've never even considered before. So therefore, at this conference, we're announcing the